Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Prospect Central 101. My name is Chris, and today joining me we have
Keelan.
And we're going to be watching some AJ Terrell with you guys today. He is a corner from Clemson University, listed as of the combine at 6'1" and 8, okay, 195 pounds, 9-inch hands, 31 and a quarter inch arms, and 75 and 5/8 inch wingspan. So, have you seen any AJ Terrell before? In real life, not in video game.
Well, I mean, if I can't talk video game, in which he's absolutely pissing me off, I've seen him, I guess, a little bit when watching Clemson games. I watched, I think, only two this year: Ohio State and LSU, and possibly Texas A&M earlier in the season. But I wasn't really too focused on Terrell, I suppose. It was mainly Simmons that caught my eye.
Cool. So, we have two games to watch today, Syracuse and Ohio State. So those are the two that we're going to be taking a look at. Shout out to Mark Jarvis for putting this all together for us. All that good stuff. We'll go over my grades, as well as Keeling's at the end.
Yeah.
Nice. 10 minutes. Good sample size for a corner. Okay, so he will be number 8. For some reason he gets lost. Okay, I already like the aggressiveness. Okay, just shutting up, getting moved back, I guess. Like that they're playing him in hard and soft coverage so far. Inside. Yep, nice little coverage job. So he does have some experience in both zone and man looks, which is good to see. Okay, the patience. He gave that zone look away a little early, but that's going to happen. Obviously, if you're facing down the line, you're not going to be playing in man coverage. But QB never read it, so it didn't really matter. Same thing, probably a little bit more of a zone look. Same thing, probably a zone look here too. Yep. Okay. Same thing. Yeah, he's giving away the man zone looks early with the stance. That's probably more of a man look. So, yep. He broke on that really nicely though. He gets back and he recognizes this receiver really early on in the route. I don't know why the quarterback didn't see him breaking on that down the field and throw it to this guy because he is nowhere near in that vicinity. So he probably should have hit the underneath guy here, especially on 3rd and 4 with first down marker right there. But yeah, AJ had that reg all the way through. Nicely done. Good awareness. Probably another zone look. Okay, a little bit more of a flat that time. Oh, that went right through his hands. Okay. Okay, definitely more of a man. Oof. Okay, zone look. Probably more of a... That was a little bit better. Probably zone 2. Lining up inside occasionally as well, so he does have some slot experience, which is kind of unique for someone over 6'1". So he's familiar with covering those big slots, at least so far in this game. Obviously, we're only 1/4 into one game, but yeah, definitely watch that deep pass. And even from a zone standpoint, we've seen him in the flat, we've seen him in the intermediate, and we've seen him over the top. So he has some versatility with depth of his zone and range as well, which is kind of cool. Don't really get the chance to talk about that too often. Yeah, same thing. Clear zone look. Downhill. Ugh. Okay, nice flat. Oh, that was really, really well done. So you really get to see him take on this flat. He does a great job of staying patient, making this outside read on the shutdown, while he lets the interior guy take on the interior route concepts. But he also sticks to his zone underneath here on the outside, the shallow. And then he stays with this back all the way down the field and undercuts this route for what almost was an interception. So again, you really get to see that that zone coverage really play out there. He's doing a really nice job of recognizing those route concepts. Okay, again, nice job on the deep zone, but they're going to have the easy check down. Yeah. Oh, he whipped on the press. Okay. So I'd like to see him be a little bit less lungy in pressing, a little bit more uh, technical, I guess. Nice red zone coverage. Well done. Okay, pretty smooth. Zone look. Pretty clear zone look. Nice job coming downhill. Okay. Yes, run recognition. Not really seeing a whole lot of pedal, which is interesting. I don't know if that's by design, but for the most part, he's kind of just one of those read and react guys, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But when he drops into zone, he's not typically pedaling. He's more like there, he just explodes out into that deep zone. Or he's staying in the flat and he's not really pedaling. He's more so just shifting and backing off a little bit, like he does on that particular play. So it doesn't necessarily say anything about it being bad or poor or not up to standards or anything like that. Just a general note of observation and trend. Yeah, something there. Intermediate zone that time. Yeah, we're seeing him open his hips up pretty clean and smooth. So I don't think he necessarily likes the athleticism, which is good. And part of the reason why he's able to play that style. Okay, nice force play. Still haven't even gotten to see a real tackling attempt yet, though, either. It's already the fourth quarter. And yeah, even there, he doesn't really go for the tackle. So he's doing a reasonable job in run support, but we haven't gotten to see any tackling yet. And we're already through the first game. So, your thoughts on AJ Terrell from game one?
He seems to be more zone dominant, I guess if the word is. And I like his athleticism. He looked pretty fluid. His 40, he ran a 4.43. I couldn't find the RAS scores on Twitter, but I found his 40, and I mean it's good. He looks athletic. He looks like he's good in zone, and he just looks pretty good as a corner.
Nice. So here we go with the college football playoff game against Justin Fields and the Buckeyes. Yeah, and see, even here, he's not really pedaling because he kind of just drops into off, knowing that he's going to be giving up that leverage. So part of me is a little bit not necessarily concerned, but even there's a little bit of a pedal. Yeah, he has pretty smooth feet. Oof. First tackle we've seen from this guy. It's not good. Yeah, he doesn't seem to really feel comfortable in pedal. And like even the last couple plays, like we see him dropping early here before he pedals back and then shifts, and he's not able to get out of it with that T-step or brake step. And even here he starts off and he kind of shuffles. So we really don't get to see him feel too comfortable in pedal. Which to me means that he's probably, especially considering the one rep of him in press that we have, was not really ideal. You're probably best off with him in an off-man scheme or more of his own scheme, where he's kind of able to use that athleticism and break back. That was nice coverage, though. Nice utilization of the length. Press. Nope. Okay. Just tight, man. Jeez, Isaiah. Nice patience. No zone look. Yeah, tackling fundamentals are not there based on the two games. That was better. Nice deep zone. I really like him in cover 3 so far. He's doing a really nice job with that deep drop. Good patience. Good fluidity. Nice.
I see you, JK.
Oh, pass rush. Oh, okay. Definitely has a little bit of pass rush. Nice. That's a cool asset to have, especially out of a slot. Nice transition coverage. He has the mental traits all there, it seems like, which is pretty good. Nice boundary enforcement. Probably could have been a little bit better because he obviously came down with it. But still did enough there to what I want to see. And like you can tell, that window is minimal. He's doing a great job keeping him on the hashes. And yeah, Fields just made a sick throw. So that's actually really, really well done by Terrell and about what I wanted to see there. Seeing there on that play, did a pretty good job of redirecting that side. Downhill wherever you are. There you are. Yep. Nice. Okay. Got to see a little bit of a tackle. Okay. Good job. Okay. That's the block shooting too, which is good. So he's pretty decent at run support. And he has the pass rushing, a little bit of pass rushing upside for a corner, which is good. Just would like to see a little bit more tackling. Okay, another nice deep drop. He's doing a really nice job of getting back into those deep thirds. Also allows for you to run some inverts too. So if you wanted to drop your safeties down in cover 2 and get him in your other corner on those deep halves, you can run those invert looks. Nice and boundary enforcement. Okay, good patience. Okay, yeah, a little bit of a puddle there, which is good. It's just definitely more of an explosion athlete rather than agility based on the tape. I don't remember what his exact scores were. That was not him, but okay. Nothing, so. Press? Nope, just good hard man. Nicely done. Oh, I almost led to a pick. Yeah, he's doing a really nice job with the fluidity. Shed? Okay. That was not really the best of blocking by number 8. But nice. Yep, great play. Yep. Nice patience in the zone. Good transitional work here. And you really get to see why zone discipline matters on this particular play. Because watch, he ends up recognizing this screen early, right? So he's checking downhill. But so does the guy with this underneath zone. So what happens here is they run some semblance of a flood concept, your short, intermediate, and deep receiver on the outside. So someone needs to take this deep defender here, or receiver, which is probably going to be this guy. I think that's Isaiah Simmons. Someone needs to take the intermediate receiver here, which is Terrell, and then you have the underneath defender. And what ends up happening is because Terrell takes away that intermediate receiver, and whoever the deep defender may have been on this particular play, unfortunately they're off screen, took away that one guy who ran that deep flood. So what you want to do now is obviously if you're Fields, you're hoping that 14 has that ability to get those yards after catch. But it really took away because of the discipline of Terrell, and there's a safety back there. Because of the discipline of Terrell, whoever that safety is in the back, and Simmons, also helps take out that side, recognizing that flood concept. You really force that short pass, and now it's third down. So, really nicely done by Terrell and the other players in that defensive backs. Okay, patience. Really nice flips. Definitely seems like he has the fluidity. And you really get to see the explosion out of the stance too with his some drops. Nice patience. And yeah, like see, even on this particular play, it looks like he's trying to pedal, but he starts out leaving early, and then he has like really, really long strides, so you don't really get to see the quick feet. So he definitely seems to be slightly uncomfortable in a straight pedal. And he was staying pretty high too. Watch how he's basically upright the whole time he's in that pedal. That was one of the main things that I heard was a criticism about Amani last year, and why he ended up falling to the fifth. Was he was staying too high on those pedals, and someone thought he was uncoachable apparently, which is kind of sad, but
What the hell?
it worked out for us. On the other hand, he is doing great with this boundary enforcement. I have been really impressed with that aspect of his game, and that's something that not a lot of corners in this class have done really well with so far. This is Singy Jones level boundary enforcement. He completely eliminated the window for this throw. There's no way. This is kind of like the other situation, except that the other receiver made a great play. There is no window for Justin Fields to throw this football. That is fantastic. It's probably the strongest aspect of his game so far. He's doing a fantastic job of reducing those boundary throws. Same thing, just completely took away that boundary.
Sad.
So, your final thoughts on the two games that we were able to watch today from Terrell?
That last play made me sad. But not because of Terrell, because, you know. Anyways, he was good in zone. We didn't get to see him impress all that much, but from what I saw, I think he's pretty good, pretty athletic. His dropbacks or his backpedaling rather, was interesting. But all in all, I think he's a pretty good prospect.
Sweet. So, here are the categories that we'll be looking at today. Variance of coverage is going to be a 9 for me. Would like to see him getting a little bit more in that off-man look, I guess. And specifically a little bit more in hard man. Just finding that success there, because a lot of his successes to me came in that zone. Patience and positioning is going to be again a 9. We did get to see him a little bit lungy at times. And actually, you know what, I'm going to go with an 8. because we also got to see him kind of give away a little bit of those looks in those zone drops, specifically those deep looks when he was either backing out too early or giving it away with his leverage. So probably would like to see a little bit more there. Discipline though was 10 for sure. He was great in that area. Got to see that transitional work. Got to see a couple of those reps where you really got to see him identify those route coverage or those route concepts, like that one flood play I talked about. Ball tracking and playmaking, didn't really get to see a whole lot of that, but he did do a pretty nice job of getting his hands up and impacting those passing lanes, especially that one play on the boundary I talked about. He did a really nice job of trying to impact that throwing lane, and then he also made a couple of nice plays in the red zone as well. So, pretty nice there. Footwork is going to be a 7 for me. Again, I just really want to see more pedal. I really want to see him get a little bit lower out of his stance. I want to see a little bit more quickness and agility with the feet rather than explosion with the body. Fluidity and motion athleticism was, I don't necessarily want to go with a 10. I'll go with a 9. Still very solid. Definitely got to see his explosion out of that stance with the upper body, as I just talked about. Definitely got to see his fluidity. Got to flip hips a few times as well. So feeling pretty solid about that aspect of his game. Run support and pass rushing is a 9. We got to see some pass rushing reps, which was great. Got to see a little bit of block shedding. Not that he was basically the best blocking, but we did get to see him avoid some blocks and things like that. And we got to see him recognize the run and fill some run lanes. So not a 10 or anything like that, but he's proficient in both areas. Tackling, on the other hand, probably a 5. Would like to see a lot more tackling technique. I think there was only one wrap tackle that we got to saw. Most of it was lunging or attempting to go for a hit or backing off. So again, just want to see a little bit more aggressiveness in proper form. Unfortunately, Boundary was a 10, my first 10 in that category this year for sure. Definitely a great job in that particular category, pointing out multiple examples he did that very well. And then miscellaneous intangibles is probably going to be a 9 for me. Didn't really see anything about him being a team captain or anything. Got to see some communication, but for the most part, I think Isaiah Simmons was the guy that was kind of being that defensive leader and captain and main focal point of game planning. So, while I calculate, I'll let you go over these categories and your thoughts on my grades, as well as your own.
Cool. For yours, I think they look pretty spot on. I think you brought up good points. I think it's accurate, and I think honestly, if he goes to a team like, say, Seattle or Atlanta, he would thrive. Personally, I gave him an 86, you gave him an 85, so we're pretty similar there.
Cool. Anything else in particular that you wanted to touch on? I did a lot of the talking in this video. You stayed pretty quiet, so I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to say something too.
Yeah, well, we saw him, the whole reason we started this is pretty much due to the Daniel Jeremiah mock. And I think we saw him go number 19 to the Raiders. And after seeing this, I'm not sure how I would personally feel with him at 19. I feel like if he's there, well, the Raiders don't have a second round pick. I think I would elect to go with someone such as Trey Diggs or Christian Fulton if they're there, rather than Terrell, or else even Gladney. But I don't think Terrell's bad by any means. I just think there'll be better corners on the board when the Raiders pick rather than Terrell. And I keep wanting to call him Farrell, but like I know that's not it. It's his former Clemson teammate. It's just I always catch myself trying to say that, and that's why I like keep stuttering every time I'm about to say his name. Kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah, I think the Atlanta point was really interesting because they do have a tendency to target those in-state guys from Clemson. We saw that with Luke Beasley. We saw that with Grady Jarrett.
Right.
We saw that with there was the other guy I can't remember
Um.
who ended up being pretty big for them. But they do seem to like those Clemson players. They have a pretty good relationship with Dabo. It seems like Dimitrov and Quinn do. And I feel like he would be a very interesting fit. I've seen Atlanta mock Christian Fulton lately
Mhm.
too. Uh, so if they don't address corner in free agency, I don't know about 16, but if they're in a situation where they can trade back into the 20s or maybe the 30s, or maybe trade up into the 30s from their spot in the 40s in the second round, I guess it would make sense to be like 48. Uh, then, yeah, I definitely see a very interesting possibility of him going to the Falcons. I think that would be really interesting to see that fit and how he would develop in that kind of a system.
Right.
And he kind of feels a need. Local areas, they probably have pretty good scouting and evaluation there, and the connections that they have, and all that stuff. If they take him, I feel pretty good about him finding success in Atlanta pretty quickly. So, anything else that you wanted to add before we finish this one?
Nope. I think we covered it.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, learned a thing or two along the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this over the course of the next coming days, weeks, and months as we head, well, I guess not just month, as we head into draft and the rest of the pre-draft process, mainly just pro days at this point. Combine behind us, Senior Bowl behind us, Collegiate Bowl behind us now, and all of those types of things. So, yep, really just looking forward to the pro days and the pre-draft visits and workouts after free agency. So, with that being said, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and peace out.